Hi, everyone. Gina Doyle. I'm the product designer for Runner, and I'm here with Darren today, the product manager for GitLab Runner, and we'll be talking about our plan for milestone 15.6. We're going to start off with Runner Fleet. So we have a few categories in the Runner group, if you didn't already know. But Darren will be doing talking about the other two categories, Runner SaaS and Runner Core, and then I'll be talking about Runner Fleet today. As a reminder, Runner Fleet is about managing a fleet of runners. So however many runners that you have, either at the group level, the admin level, or even the project level. And our vision is to be able to make it super easy to be able to manage all those runners at once and enable your team to work as expected, work faster. And so I'll start sharing my screen and go over some of the issues that we'll be looking at. So on the development side, we're going to be adding bulk delete into the group view. So if you have to delete multiple runners at once, this has been something that we've been asked by many users to add in, so you no longer have to individually delete runners, which is super exciting. We just added this into the admin view, so our next iteration here is the group view. We're also going to be improving assigned projects section when you're editing a project runner. So if as an admin, if you've ever edited a project runner and tried to share it across many projects, it's kind of like a form within the edit section. So we're making that a little bit more consistent with our other components that we're using, so that you can assign into using a dropdown, click on like many projects to assign that runner to, and then save it with the rest of your configuration options that you edited for that runner. Some exciting things that we have for new features is our MVC trying to give more information into the runner queue type of problem that we're seeing. So we're adding a queued and duration time for jobs that the runner has run. So this list is only available in the admin area right now, although we will be working on making it available for groups. But for each one of these jobs that the runner has run, we'll provide a duration time and a queue time, so that you can see at a glance how that queue time is changing within the past few jobs that you're looking at. And then for the UX side of things for Runner Fleet, we're looking at making it more clear when you're enabling stale group runner cleanup at which runners that setting will impact. We've heard that it's really confusing today because it actually only affects the runners that were registered in that group. So we'll just make that more clear. And then the next two issues came from some recent feedback that we've gotten. One of the things being that when your job is pending, when you run a job as a developer in a project, you sometimes don't understand why it's pending for so long. So it could be queuing up to 15 minutes or whatever it happens to be. And so at this point, we'd like to provide some more information, like average wait time of how long you might have to wait at this pending page, the runners available to take this on, and then potentially other metrics like jobs ahead of this one. But we're still trying to work that metric out. And then lastly, another thing that we've heard from a bunch of users is that you're not sure if a runner is running a job right now or not. And one of the things that we're talking about doing is making it more clear by either saying that it's running or it's idle. And then we can link to the list of jobs that I was showing earlier, so that you know exactly what job it's running at that moment, or jobs, plural. And that is it on the fleet side. So I'll pass it to Darren to talk about the other two categories.
Hey, thanks a bunch, Gina. It's going to be such a hard follow. I mean, super cool stuff coming in on the fleet. I'm super psyched. That's awesome. Hey, so for Runner Core, as I mentioned in the last couple of releases, a key focus and major prioritization focus for us on the runner core side in each iteration is first and foremost any security issues, any security vulnerabilities. So when we look at our prioritization, when we look at allocating resources, the first thing we want to work on are those security issues or security vulnerabilities. So you can see here in 15.6, we've got a couple of things on deck. So those are the things that we absolutely will be focused on first, making sure that those hopefully get over the finish line and resolve in 15.6. And what that means sometimes is that it may, depending on the complexity of some of this work, that may in fact impact our plans for delivering other features that we hope to deliver in 15.6. It's just the reality of it. We have, we plan aggressively, we have very aggressive goals, but as we get into the iteration, if the work effort and some of these security issues is taking longer than we expect, that will, just being very clear, impact our ability to deliver some of these new features, right? So the first thing, we've got a couple of security issues on that. Then, as you go through the list here, and this iteration planning issue is available to everyone, you can also see we have a number of severity 2, priority 2 bugs, and then we hope to start getting to here in 15.6. We do, in fact, have a backlog of Sev 2 bugs, and one of our goals as we head into the back third of this year and into next year is to whittle that list down significantly. We want to get on top of our bug SLOs, especially for our Sev 2 bugs. And so we'll be spending some time working through that list. Now, in terms of new features that we hope to ship in 15.6, one of the first ones I want to draw your attention to is this concept about making runner sleep timer interval configurable. This actually is a new feature request that came in for some customers. We actually weren't aware of this problem. We're still trying to do a bit of investigation in terms of finding out when this was introduced and kind of the different parameters for when this may cause a problem for customers. But what we're seeing here, and we've heard from some large customers that are managing their own GitLab instances, and by extension, of course, managing their own runners and runner fleets, is that for maintenance windows or for downtime, maintenance windows for the actual GitLab instance, whether they're doing an upgrade, whether they're doing a database migration, if the instance is offline for some time, what they're finding out is that the runners are taking a long time to reconnect and start processing jobs on that instance once the instance is back online. So we actually have a merge request that's been submitted, and we hope to actually add some configurations into the runners to allow for solving this particular problem. The additional thing that we're working on, and you'll hear a lot more about this in terms of blog posts, deprecation notices, a bunch of videos that we have planned around the subject area, is this idea of what we're calling, generally speaking, the next runner token architecture. So these are 2 incremental new features that we're adding in 15.6, but those 2 incremental features are part of a broader long-term plan. The end state is this: once we get this new architecture implemented, we will have a different, much more secure mechanism for how you register runners in GitLab. And so these 2 pieces of work here and these 2 new features are small incremental features towards that end state. We're targeting, I think, approximately 16.0 at this point for having everything all wrapped up. And we have, as I mentioned, we have a lot more details in terms of blog posts, documentation updates, videos around what that means. But this is a very critical piece for us, and this is the next evolution in the runner registration system. And so look for more information on that. So that's what's happening in Runner Core. In Runner SaaS, in 15.6, we are not shipping any new features or capabilities. In 15.4, we shipped some new runner types for the GitLab SaaS Linux runners. But we are working on a number of very interesting foundational pieces in terms of our new runner auto scaling technology, which will enable us to very hopefully soon launch our Mac OS runners in limited availability finally on, and specifically on Apple Silicon or M1 chips. And there's a little typo in there, so we'll fix that afterwards. That foundational work for the next runner auto scaling architecture not only enables the Mac OS runners, but it will also provide customers that self-manage GitLab runners the new auto scaling capabilities for managing runners on Amazon Web Services, virtual machine instance groups, OSGs, and Google Complete Platform. So lots of interesting, cool things that are coming with Runner SaaS and with that next Runner auto scaling technology. So nothing shipping in terms of new features, foundational work, but you'll be seeing new features as a result of that in future that you can consume in future iterations. So that's it from Runner Core and Runner SaaS. Gina, back to you for wrap up.
Sure. Yeah, I did want to just thank everyone because we've been getting a ton of feedback on actually an issue that we opened for GitLab that was mainly brought upon through the admin area. So we've seen like a ton of traction from users giving us feedback on our new design that we added there, but also around other pains that you're facing. And I did want to say thank you in case you're listening. We really do appreciate your feedback, and we're trying to create issues to make sure that all those pieces of feedback are taken into consideration. So yes, if you have any other feedback on the issues that we're taking on in this milestone, feel free to leave comments in that issue or just let us know. And thank you for listening today.